how to become wealthy in the U.S. as a new green card holder. Wherever you're from, whatever country you're from, understand that you're you want to come to the states, and obviously we're going to assume that you're already in the states, and you already have a green card essentially, right? You've come here, you're in the states. What's the next step? How do you become wealthy? Why do you become wealthy? What's the reason? You become wealthy for one word: freedom. Free money. Freedom of money, basically, right? Basically, you don't have to work anywhere. If you don't want to work, you have residual income, you have resources available to you, and it's just nice, overall nice thing to have. And obviously, it's not necessarily easier, it's not harder, it's just different for you, being how you were raised in a different country. So one of those things to think about is is how were you taught in your country to believe in money or to believe about money? How were you raised to believe why rich people were rich? Were you raised to believe that rich people were rich because they got it nefariously, or did they earn it? How do you view that? This is really critical in how you're going to become wealthy in the United States, because if you believe that if rich people are bad or rich people are crooks, then what if you become rich and what if you become wealthy? Are you a crook? Do you think that? Are your relatives going to think that you're a crook or you're not a good person because you became rich? So you have to really identify that as what they where that came from. How did that come into your mindset? Who put it there? Can you change it? Can you change that mindset? So in order to do these type of things, do you have friends? Do you have acquaintances that you could talk to help you to change your mindset on how rich people are rich? If you don't, there's another way to do these type of things, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And that is to find a mentor. So a mentor could be someone who is doing something you want to do. It could be a person that has already achieved that type of income or wealth that you're looking to achieve. This could be someone in your who is also from your country or someone who's not from your country. And to find a mentor, and a method to do this is to go on meetups, is to go on Facebook and join these networking groups, these groups that help people make money essentially. In those groups, you're going to find one or two or three individuals who can help you and answer those questions for you and just kind of help you along in being a mentor. Another thing to do is write down your ideas in a journal. So, what are the ideas that you have about becoming wealthy? About what do you want to do? Plan out your month. You have a whole month ahead of you. What do you want to do with that month? Write down your ideas. You can start off with just a notebook from a store, Walmart or Kmart or wherever, and just write down, I want to do these. These are ideas I have about making money essentially, or about what I want to do, and what skills I have ready. What skills do you have ready that you can write down in your journal? Starting a business. So starting a business as a green card holder is not easy, but it's not hard. So a couple different things. First thing to do if you want to start a business is to go on whatever state you're in. There is the Secretary of State office usually online, and you can register your business there. Now that doesn't cost anything to do that. Oh, excuse me. Some states are a little different. Like in North Dakota, I think it's like $100 or whatever, 100 US dollars. Some states are a little different. So once you have that, you register your business, the name. With that, you have a what's the number? I forget the number they associate with. When you register your business, you're going to give the address you're at, or you could use like a post office box address as well. You could do that, And like I said, it's $100 or so. In some states, a little less, a little more. And the EIN number, which is the tax ID number, that one is doesn't cost anything. So you're pretty much out about $100 or so just to start a business and name it whatever you want to name it. Now, obviously, you can research on the internet and find out different ways on how to actually start a business and how to find out how to go about doing that in more detail. The other thing is change your relationship to money. Let's presuppose that where you're from, the money is a little different. So in the U.S., everything is money. Everything is let's pay for a service. Let's get our life taken care of. Let's be happy. Let's do things on the weekend. Let's go out. Let's do this. Everything is money, 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 money. Really, it is. And you're probably not used to that being wherever you're from. Maybe the country you're from is a there's there's not a lot of taxes, let's say, in different things. Obviously, there's taxes, but there might not be a charge to take out the trash. There might not be a charge for the water that comes into your home. There might not be charges like that. There might not be so maybe you're used to like a community type of thing where your relatives, your friends give you food, maybe share food, so you trade your food for something else. Maybe that's the scenario you're in because maybe the lack of money. And that's not how it works in the states. The states is the U.S. Everything works on money. You have money, you have the service, you're good, and that's the way it is. So changing your relationship to money is the first thing. For instance, you have the money. Money when you're where you're from before, the money probably doesn't come quickly. It's very hard to come by. Where in the U.S. it's very easy to come by, and it comes quickly if you can do the work to get it. And so changing your relationship to money, meaning to get more money, you have to work harder, or you have to have a business, or you have to have a skill that you could sell in exchange for the money. And if you think that rich people are bad, and you become rich, then you're bad. Then you're going to think that you're rich or you're bad, right? So if you see someone who is has wealth or has a nice car, just know that they most likely own that car outright. It's not they're paying month to month. If it's a Porsche, that person owns the car. Pretty much guarantee that. Now you could feel a couple of different ways. You could feel one way where you're envious of that person, and you could say they they got it a wrong way. They didn't earn it or whatever. Or you could say to yourself, this this is something I can attain. I'm in America now. The country I was at before, it's a little different, and so it was maybe out of reach for me, let's say. But since I'm in America, it's definitely in reach, and I'm going to work towards attaining that goal. If I want it, I'm going to work towards attaining it. It's going to maybe take me a little bit longer, but I'm going to reach that goal. There are 168 hours a week, and whatever job you have, let's say for instance you get here, typically what I see, individuals come here and they're from various different countries, and I've met a lot of them. They come here, they work at like a Kmart or a McDonald's or a Walmart, but mostly it's a Walmart. I see a lot of them work at Walmart, and I think it has something to do with like, so you have to understand the spouse, if you will, doesn't understand this. They think, okay, the spouse is coming to the states and they're going to get this great job because they have a degree where they're from, let's say, wherever country they're from, they have a degree and they come here and they're going to get this great job. And because maybe they don't have kids, maybe they have kids, but they're going to get this great job. Well, it doesn't always work that way because what happens is the person that's coming here has been has some insecurities, if you will, about their language, about their English, about their their skills that they come, and then when they what usually happens is they go to Walmart because they have a friend or okay somebody that looks like me or is from my country works there, and they okay go there and work there, not understanding that that person who works at Walmart maybe doesn't have the ambition, or maybe has lived there a lot longer than the person who just arrived in America, and so whoever they believe or whoever they talk to is going to shape where they work at. And typically, the Walmart, they make minimum wage. They make 15 bucks an hour or whatever it is, minimum wage. And for them, it's good because, you got to figure where they came from. They didn't make a lot of money. And they made, let's say, 10,000 a year, if that, let's say. So here they come to the States and now they make 30,000 a year because, $15 an hour times 2,000 hours is 30,000 a year. So they make triple. Wow, that's awesome. And, the spouse is here, looks at that job and says, "You're working at Walmart." And to them, that's a low wage. That's an entry level job. And so for them looking at that, their spouse who came here, they say, "Well, what? Why are you like that?" They don't understand. They don't comprehend why the person came here and they don't have a great job because they don't get it. And the spouse hasn't really explained it because maybe they don't know themselves. Now, here's the thing about that: the problem will come later on when the spouse that works at Walmart, the let's say the green card holder works at Walmart, and the spouse has a job, and the person that has a green card is expected. Uh, they send money back to their country, right? Now the spouse who's here looks at them. Let's say husband and wife. The wife works at Walmart. The husband works. He's American, right? So the husband's looking at the wife and okay, fine, you're sending money to wherever country you're from. Fine, good, awesome. The issue is when this always happens. This always happens. The relatives start to say, "Well, sending more money. There's more cousins or relatives or um, what's the called aunts, uncles, sirs, all these type of things that auntie, whatever, that need money for whatever reason." And the wife can no longer send no longer has the funds to do it. So they have to ask the husband, "Hey husband, can you send money to my relatives in whatever country I'm from?" Now the husband, he may do this a little bit, right? But he's eventually going to be kind of a little upset because he's thinking, "Wait a minute, I thought, don't you have a degree? I don't have a degree, but you have a degree. That's not fair to me. Why don't you just get a better job?" Well, she's not going to get a better job. Now, no matter how much the husband can try all kinds of techniques. He could try saying, helping her get a job. He could try all these things. It never works. Why doesn't it work? It doesn't work because they don't want the job. They don't want to get better. You have to understand that about people. People don't realize that about people. The American way of doing things, we were raised in America a certain way. They were not raised like that, so they don't understand the hard work, the work ethic. Basically, they work hard, yes, but they don't understand the the what it means to work hard and to get ahead in America because they're not from here. The best example I can give is someone who worked at IBM before, way back, where you work at IBM in America and you get a pension. You work there 20 years or whatever, and they could be a pension. And fine, good. And you got retirement or whatever age from the government. That no longer really exists in their country. That's how their mindset is. Hey, if you just if you get a good job for the government or whatever entity that pays you benefits, and you can retire at a certain age. So they look at Walmart and say, well, that's a good company. They have a retirement entity. It's not really retirement; it's 401k, and they give you like 10% or whatever discount when you retire from Walmart. And fantastic. That's how they're looking at it. They're not looking at it from the perspective of what the husband's looking at it. This is usually the most causes for divorce, or this is the causes for argument in the spouses, because the expectation is in some cases the husband expects the wife to come here and to bear him children. If that doesn't happen, then okay, fine. You have to work now. You didn't bear me the children. You have to work. You have to get a better job, and especially if your relatives are asking for money, This is kind of unfair for me. I need to I need to not do that. This is unfair. So, but the wife doesn't see it that way. Again, it's how she was raised, her culture, how she looks at the view of the world. She's not from America, obviously, and so this is the thing. Also, take into consideration her friends. If her friends are like her, who are not, I wouldn't say, I would just say they're just run of the mill. Okay, fine. It is what it is type of mindset, right? You could equate this to, say, someone who's like in the Florida, southern part of Florida in Key West, where, okay, it is what it is. I'm on whatever time, on an island time, if you will, Florida island time, if you will. And if you have someone who is looking at it, the husband saying, I want you to get a better job. And the wife, she says, I'm trying, I'm trying, I'm trying. You don't understand. And the husband, after a couple of years, the husband says, I don't, you're not trying. But he doesn't want to say that because he doesn't want to offend her. So he says, fine, whatever, whatever. So he's working two, three jobs himself because he wants to, he sees it. He sees what's happening. And he says, okay, I need to earn more money or I need to get a business or whatever. Now, the thing with this is the business comes in. And a lot of times what happens is the wife wants a business, but she wants the husband to help with the business. And the husband doesn't want to do that. If the husband had the business and started the business would be uh, good. But it's almost like I guess the word I'd say is learned. It's a learned response, if you will, where you brought me here to the States, but you still have to help me figure out stuff. Not understanding that, just ask your friends, get a mentor to ask you. That's the little difference, I guess, in the resourcefulness, I would say. Not that all people that come to the States are like this from another country, but Americans have to be resourceful. There are lazy Americans. There are Americans out there who just do the bare minimum, who just have a 9 to 5 job. And there's people like that everywhere in the world. Understand that that doesn't exist just in America or some other country. That's everywhere in the world. People are like that everywhere. But given a scenario in front of you, you say, okay, here's a scenario. I have 30 years or 40 years or 50 years or 80 years or whatever it is to make as much money as possible. And so that I can be set up financially. I can be wealthy. Or or I can just do what everybody else does, is just do the 9 to 5, go in 9 to 5 and find happy good. I can work at Walmart for 30 years or whatever it is, 50 years or whatever, and have just enough money, right? Essentially. So the recommendation is to take an Excel sheet out and calculate your hourly rate. $15 an hour, and you could probably do like a 1% or a 3% raise every year, let's say, and calculate out that for the next 50 years versus having a job, maybe going and getting another skill, and then to get a better job. Let's say you go from 15 to $20 an hour within a couple of years, and then and then going and so forth, maybe $50 an hour, $60 and $100 an hour, or whatever. And then long term, the amount of work to get to those jobs is harder. Yes, it's more dedication. There's a lot more stress. There's a lot of bunch of different things versus going in and working in a Walmart where everything's done for you. You just have to show up and do a menial task. So you should know as a spouse coming in the States, which one do you fall into? Are you a 160 hours a week? I'm just going to do the bare minimum. I'm going to just do 40 hours a week at a bare minimum job, Walmart or whatever it is, and just maintain an easy life, don't have to do much? Or do I want to take 168 hours and make a better life for myself? And then from the family, basically, to give an easier time for the husband, let's say, so he doesn't have to work as hard, so that we can have nice vacations. You have to decide that for yourself. So, a couple different action items for this. One is when you get money, pay yourself, first of all. Take the money you have in your job, whatever it is, pay yourself, pay it in cash, have it there in your hand, and don't give it out to anyone. Pay yourself first and then pay your bills, of course. The second one is if you have a business, advertise your business. Go on Facebook, go on Pinterest, go on YouTube, have a YouTube channel. Anything you do, you can do once you have a business to promote it. Now, this isn't something like a Mary Kay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you own something. You start a business, you have a product, a digital product. Maybe you make candles. Maybe you make something like that that you sell online or you sell to a local a local shop. That's what I'm talking about. Advertise that business to everyone so that you can grow it. And lastly, say yes to everything you see, every opportunity that's in front of you. Someone says to you, "You ever tried this?" It's an opportunity. Just say yes and then do it and learn from it. Versus no, I'm not really part of that's not part of it. For instance, you could have another job. Let's say you work at Walmart and someone you have an opportunity to work, let's say in another field, a non-retail field, if you will, and but you don't really want to. Say yes to it. Say yes to the opportunity. Learn what is that thing that I want to do, and okay, I want to do that. Maybe it's a some other type of field. Understand that okay, that might be a good idea for me to learn another skill, and I'm going to say yes to everything. So thanks a lot for listening to this, and hopefully all these things, these items, these uh, these things I've talked about can help you to become wealthy in the United States as a new green card holder.